Welcome to tonight's City Council study session for August 5th, 2024. City Council reports. Councilor Rosati.
I have a question. I have a few questions. City Manager Andrews. For the wave, so the car wash off of Wadsworth by Wooden Shoe, there's something going in there. Do we know what that is?
We'll have to, we can ask staff and get back to you. Which address is it, or location?
The address is 9195 Wadsworth Parkway.
9195, okay, thank you.
And so the executive session on Greenway Trail, is there an update on that, when we're having that?
Let me get back to you on that too with a date.
The last email we got said there was some kind of holdup, I guess, as to, or coordination happening. I'm curious what is the delay?
Okay.
I'll save these two for later. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Councilor Hott.
Yeah, so I attended the Westy Craft Brew Fest, and that was the very first time I've been to it. And I just thought it was really awesome, and I'm looking forward to going back next year. And then I attended the AdCog dinner, and it was in Aurora, and they were talking about their homeless navigation center that they're getting ready to open. And so that was a really good presentation. And then the North Glen mayor, I wanted to share with everybody, thanked us for saving the dog park. She said that
She's
not only
a frequent flyer.
yeah, she said not only is she a user of it, but she thought it was a really good example of the council listening to our residents and being responsive to what most of our residents wanted. So I wanted to pass on that compliment. And then I had a question because I know ballot measures have to be in by the end of the month. And I know we're going to talk about the wards ballot measure tonight, but I haven't heard anything else about the ballot measure for our fire department and if we're still planning on doing that.
Thank you, Councilor. We have an agendaized item coming on the 12th, so next Monday, regular meeting of City Council, we'll be bringing that in for you.
Okay, fantastic. I had someone asking about it and wanted to make sure. So, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Camelia.
Yes, so this past weekend, I stopped by Fire Station 2 to just drop off some thank yous from volunteers, because I know that there's been turnover from some of our fighters that went to California, and some of them are coming back, and so that went really well. It was warmly received, and so that was awesome to see folks care about them, and they said a big thank you. Coffee went well. I had some folks attend that. And I also attended the Adams County dinner. That went well as well, but no specific updates from that. And then I did just see an email that came through this evening, so I'll bring it up because it does seem really relevant. A resident asked about a community emergency response team, if we have a CERT team here in Westminster, so I figured I'd bring it up since we've got so many wildfires going on. She was volunteering to be a coordinator in her neighborhood.
I will get
Yeah.
back to you, Councilor, on that answer.
Figured I'd go ahead and bring it up since fire's been on the mind lately. And then just a reminder that I will not be present next week, but I'm sure I'll find a way to attend remotely, but I'll be away for the conference.
Okay. Councilor Ireland.
I don't have anything to report. I just want to thank the staff for getting the weeds cut across from Lexington and other places in the city, especially before the fires. I appreciate that. I had some very sick members of my family I've been taking care of, so I haven't gotten to as many things I'd like, but thank you for that.
Councilor Dumont.
I attended the Westy Craft Brew Fest. That's always fun. I don't think that I've missed one, so I don't know what year this was, but it was cool. Always a good time. I had one thing, and I know that we had information-only item on the budget in here as far as an update. I would like to make sure that we're still tracking and gonna get some, and I'm assuming it's gonna be during the budget process for the Lexington Trails trail request. I think that's in there. I don't know if it's in there as a citizen request. But because I got a question about it over the weekend and I started thinking, and we've kind of had this concept come up a couple times in terms of how we're helping HOAs, you know, maybe with just even our buying power when it comes to trails and concrete and asphalt. So as part of the budget process, I would like to have kind of a more whole discussion about that. You know, because whether or not we take on assets or not, I think that there's probably opportunity to help those developments that are current and the ones in the future. And I know that's been a consistent concern as we have new developments who have HOAs, so I think it's worth the conversation. That's it for me.
Mayor Tim?
I will second that. Thank you for bringing that back up, and I hope that we can look into that further. Let's see. So, yes, I also did the Westy Craft Brew Fest until the wind and the rain took us all out. But it was great. And I also attended the CDOT open house for the segment that's between 88th and, I think it was 88th or 92nd and 104th. Or it's the portion of the road essentially where US 36 branches off and up to about 92nd. And I did pass around some notes to everybody, and when you get a chance to read that email, it's essentially, they're looking at multiple different options to potentially expand the capacity of the freeway in some way, shape, or form, whether it's improving the toll lane and how that's separated from existing traffic, or adding another some more shoulder area to auxiliary lanes. And I think for me, the thing that stood out, just by, regardless of where they're going with the lanes, and how they solve for making that a little bit more of a passable area, they were talking about doing a potential center load for the bus stations. So we have Wagon Road Park and Ride, and then there's the one that's down in I think it's North Glens, Thornton, Park and Ride at 80 or 92nd. And you would park there, but you'd walk under one side of the freeway and board the bus in the middle. And I just, not overly fond of that. I know it's very efficient for the buses and everything, but in terms of accessibility for riders and the convenience factor, I think that's kind of a long way to go from a parking lot. So anyway, just that's my 2 cents on that. I don't know exactly where they're going, but that did come up as something they're analyzing. So there is another CDOT one for 104th to 120th. So I'm assuming it's going to be very similar information. I sent you guys some pictures of some of the keyboards that I thought were of note. So
Yeah, that was helpful, thanks.
yeah, okay, that's.
I too went to the Brew Fest, and during the rainstorm, it was fun to just go sit in the car, because it was further away to get to a rec center. But it was afterwards that was fascinating. Number one, we could hear the band better, so we sort of just sat there and listened to the concert all night. And as it got darker and darker, they had a few lights for the fields, but when it was like doing a survey of bees, you'd have a swarm here, and they'd slowly, some would break off and go here, and some would go clear over here. Now there's a swarm over here. It was just funny, but at 9 o'clock when they closed, the swarm would not give up, and the swarm stayed. I don't know, we were there till about 9:30, and just watching the dynamics of the crowd, it was fun. City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a brief report tonight. First, I can provide an answer to one of Councilor Rosati's questions regarding that development site. The Wave was purchased by Cobblestone Car Wash, and they will redevelop, keeping the same general layout, but with a new facility. And the ODP amendment is currently under review by staff at this time for that. And I do owe you a response on the Greenway Trail agendaized item and a response from Councilor Cornelia on the community emergency response team. But I'll follow up later for you on those two answers. For the city manager's report tonight, I think a bit of an echo. First and foremost, Westminster continues to be very magnetic for new businesses, and our economic development team in community services works very hard to produce a very exciting list like this. These are all new businesses coming to Westminster in the near future and in various stages of getting their buildings ready and opening. Contigo Taqueria, that's in the Stanley Lake Marketplace. Carter's, which will be at the shops at Walnut Creek. IHOP coming to Brook Hill Village. J. Crew Factory, which is coming to the Orchard Town Center. King Buffet here very close to City Hall in Westfield Village. Pacific Dental, Westminster City Center. Playdate in Bradburn Village. Scratch Golf and Lounge, Stanley Lake Marketplace. Trader Joe's coming right across from City Hall, Westminster City Center. The One Up at Sheridan Crossing, and Wapo's Cantina in Ranch Reserve Plaza. And so these are just the most recent highlights, but I just wanted to highlight for council and the community, Westminster is very magnetic to new businesses right now, so we're pulling very strong in that front. Next slide, please. From a city update, this is important and is timely with respect to Councilor Carmelia's question. Westminster Fire continues to support wildland fire efforts in other jurisdictions. On July 21st, the fire department deployed a wildland engine and 3 members to the California Fire Gold Complex. This type of deployment is typically 14 days, but this one may be extended to 21. Also on July 30th, the fire department deployed a fire engine and 4 members of our fire department